Speaking of stores and video games, which you can also buy online as well, the Tokyo Game Show opens up to the public on Saturday. Over 200 companies from 19 countries and regions are there, and Mike Firn was on assignment there. Hi, Mike.
Hi, well, there was a record number of exhibitors and more booths, but it did actually feel pretty empty. And one thing which is not very good for a game show, there were 300 fewer titles than last year. One of the main reasons for that, Microsoft didn't bother turning up for the first time in a lot of years. The China Pavilion also deserted because of the island dispute with Japan. A lot of exhibitors, though, hoping that politics doesn't harm their business.
Stephen Chow is here to sell his company's lion dance game. He's been learning Japanese for years and he's hoping to practice it with local buyers and gamers. XNT is a Hong Kong company, but it decided not to pull out of the Tokyo Game Show in spite of worsening relations between China and Japan.
There's no boundary to gaming, so maybe some of the decision may be affected, but well, at least today everyone is very friendly.
The head of Renren's Japan business says the future of social gaming is globalization, games that can be played anywhere on any device. That's something China's biggest social gaming network has in common with Japan's biggest.
We use developers from China, Korea, America, and Europe to develop no-platform games. And we provide local support in the countries we operate. That way, GRI can sell more games all over the world.
Of course, sometimes politics gets in the way of business. This is the China Pavilion at the Tokyo Game Show, but because of the current island dispute, you can see all the booths are here, but the exhibitors mostly have stayed away. There are no products on display. It's very, very empty.
But it's not just Chinese companies that are staying away. Slowing global growth is prompting one US gaming giant to stay at home as well.
Microsoft, for example, did not show up at all this year, and they've been here every year since I can remember. And that's super disappointing for me because they always have so many games on display.
Nintendo never comes to the Tokyo Game Show. That leaves Sony as the only traditional console maker here. But the big three are starting to look like dinosaurs. Most new titles at the game show are for smartphones and tablets. And because they're cheap and portable, many exhibitors want to break into markets with growing economies and large populations. China, Indonesia, the Philippines and Vietnam, which requires finding a way to work side by side rather than head to head.
Now, I mentioned that Nintendo never bothers showing up. It's an East Coast, West Coast thing. But you can play the Wii U, the new console that comes out in December, because game makers like Bandai Namco and Tekken want to show off their games for the new console.
You know, Mike, usually games and technologies is a fun topic to talk about, but you have an unofficial boycott, especially, basically from Chinese companies, and you mentioned Microsoft was not there as well. What's going on here? Why didn't Microsoft want to be there?
No boycott there, that one's purely business. It also skipped Gamescom in Germany. Nintendo didn't go to that one either. The big European one, everyone going to E3, but it looks like the Americans, Microsoft as well, focusing on events in the States, and also perhaps doing an Apple. Rather than going to these big events where everybody's vying for attention, you hold a personal event and you get all of the headlines for yourself.
All right, great stuff. Thank you very much, Mike Firn.